Let's start at the beginning, where Ronda burst onto the wrestling scene like a fiery tornado. Her kickboxing career was legendary, her presence was intimidating, and everyone thought she was destined for greatness in the world of sports entertainment. At first, she seemed unstoppable, taking the wrestling world by storm with her impressive physicality and undeniable charisma. But oh, how the mighty have fallen. Let's start at the beginning, shall we? Ronda Rousey was born on February 1st, 1987 in Riverside, California. She comes from a family of athletes, with her mother being a world-class judoka and her father a former world champion in judo. So, basically, being a badass runs in her blood. No big deal. Ronda truly made a name for herself in the world of judo. She started training at a young age and quickly rose through the ranks. In 2004, she became the youngest judoka to ever qualify for the Olympics at just 17 years old. And in 2008, she took home the bronze medal in the Beijing Olympics. Talk about setting the bar high. After her Olympic success, Ronda decided to make the switch to mixed martial arts. And boy, did she make an impact. She quickly made a name for herself in the kickboxing world, with her signature armbar submission becoming her trademark move. She tore through her opponents with ease, often finishing fights in the blink of an eye. It's no wonder she became the first female fighter to sign with the UFC. Ronda's dominance in the octagon was unmatched. She went on a tear through the bantamweight division, demolishing every opponent that stood in her way. Her combination of judo skills and killer instinct made her a force to be reckoned with. She became the UFC bantamweight champion and defended her title 6 times before suffering her first loss. However, along with her incredible fighting abilities, Ronda also brought something else to the octagon: a whole lot of sass and arrogance. When it comes to arrogance in the octagon, Ronda Rousey takes the cake. From trash-talking her opponents to refusing to touch gloves before a fight, Ronda's ego knows no bounds. One of her most infamous moments of arrogancy came when she refused to shake hands with her opponent Miesha Tate after a fight, instead opting to turn her back and walk away. Classy move, Ronda. But it's not just in the octagon where Ronda's arrogancy shines through. Oh no, she brings that same level of sass to her interviews as well. Ronda has never been one to hold back her opinions, often coming off as brash and unapologetic. She famously called out other fighters, claiming she could beat them with one hand tied behind her back. Talk about confidence, or should I say, overconfidence. And let's not forget about Ronda's ventures outside of kickboxing. She transitioned to the world of professional wrestling, where she continued to let her arrogance shine through. Ronda made headlines for her over-the-top persona and trash talk, solidifying her reputation as one of the most arrogant athletes in the industry. But hey, I guess if you can back it up in the ring, who's to say you can't be a little arrogant, right? Unfortunately for Ronda, her arrogancy may have played a role in her downfall. After suffering 2 brutal losses in the UFC, Ronda's invincibility was shattered, and with it, her aura of arrogance took a hit as well. Many fans and critics were quick to point out that perhaps Ronda's cockiness had finally caught up to her, and her inability to adapt to new opponents and strategies led to her downfall. My time in wrestling was a challenging but fulfilling experience. I learned so much about myself and what I was capable of. And I'll always be grateful for the opportunity to entertain the fans in a new way, said Ronda Rousey. Ah, Ronda. Always the picture of humility and grace. But let's take a closer look at her wrestling career, shall we? From her debut at the Royal Rumble to her epic showdowns at WrestleMania, Ronda Rousey's journey in wrestling was nothing short of interesting. Remember when Ronda made her wrestling debut at the Royal Rumble in 2018? The crowd was electrified, the excitement was palpable, and Ronda, well, she certainly made an entrance, didn't she? With her signature scowl and mean mug on full display, Ronda made it clear that she was here to kick some serious butt. Throughout her time in wrestling, Ronda faced off against some of the best and brightest in the women's division. From her epic battles with Charlotte Flair to her showdowns with Becky Lynch and Sasha Banks, Ronda proved time and time again that she was a force to be reckoned with in the ring. And let's not forget about Ronda's reign as Raw Women's Champion. With her dominating presence and no-nonsense attitude, Ronda held the title with pride and ferocity, leaving a trail of defeated opponents in her wake. But of course, no reign is without its controversies, and Ronda's time as champion was no exception. It wasn't long before cracks started to show in Ronda's armor. Her inexperience in the world of scripted entertainment became glaringly obvious as she stumbled through promos and botched moves in the ring. The fans, once enamored with her, started to turn on her, sensing a lack of authenticity in her performances. It was like watching a train wreck in slow motion. The infamous feud with Becky Lynch. What could have been a clash of two strong, independent women turned into a cringe-worthy mess. Ronda's attempts at trash-talking and getting under Becky's skin fell flat, while Becky effortlessly outshone her on the mic and in the ring. It was like watching a lioness take down a wounded gazelle. Ronda never stood a chance. And then came the ultimate disaster, WrestleMania. Ronda found herself in a triple threat match against Charlotte Flair and Becky Lynch, and let's just say it did not go well. From botched spots to an awkward finish that left fans scratching their heads, Ronda's performance at WrestleMania was a far cry from the main event caliber matches she had been promised. It was a sad, sad sight to behold. After the debacle at WrestleMania, Ronda took a hiatus from wrestling to focus on starting a family. While motherhood is certainly a noble pursuit, it also felt like a convenient way for Ronda to escape the spotlight and regroup after her string of embarrassing performances. It's almost like she knew the jig was up and needed a way out before the fans turned on her completely. Fast forward to Ronda's return to wrestling, and let's just say it was less than triumphant. Her lackluster promos and uninspired matches did nothing to win back the fans she had lost. It was as if she had lost her edge, her spark, her Ronda-ness. The once formidable Ronda Rousey had been reduced to a mere shadow of her former self, a sad reminder of what could have been. And then, just when you thought things couldn't get any worse, Ronda decided to air her grievances in a scathing shoot interview where she criticized the fans, the company, and her fellow wrestlers with a bitterness that left a sour taste in everyone's mouths. It was like watching a car crash in real time as Ronda burned bridges left and right and sealed her fate as a pariah in the wrestling world. In the end, all good things must come to an end, and Ronda Rousey's time in wrestling was no exception. After a career filled with highs and lows, triumphs and tribulations, Ronda made the decision to step away from the ring and focus on other endeavors. But her impact on wrestling will never be forgotten. And there you have it, folks, the tragic tale of Ronda Rousey's downfall in wrestling. What do you think went wrong for the baddest woman on the planet? Let me know in the comments below, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more scorching hot takes on the world of professional wrestling. Until next time, this is Oh My God Wrestling signing off.